Good morning, everybody. Yes, I know I should be riding to work on the Rad City power bike. It has been really cold overnight, like minus 5, -6 where I live outside of Portland. And it's just been so bitterly cold with the wind chill and everything else that today I decided to drive in. I also had some extra stuff that I needed to bring to drop off at the studio. So I drove in today. And while I was driving in, my Chevrolet Bolt EV crossed over 25,000 miles since we purchased it new in 2017. So I figured it would be a great chance for me to give you kind of a little update on how the car has been doing, how the car is faring with life, any noticeable battery degradation, etc., etc. Let's start with the first one. I haven't really noticed a huge lot of battery degradation. When we were down in Las Vegas earlier this year and we drove down to Las Vegas, we were averaging as high as between 4 and 5 miles per kilowatt hour. And in fact, on one leg, we did higher than that. And we were easily managing 200 plus miles per charge. On one particular charge, we managed over 200 miles without any problems. And the car has, been pretty good during that time. What I would say is that the Bolt EV, like any other EV out there, the range is dramatically affected by how you drive, the outside temperature, the weather conditions, and the road conditions. So if you're driving on a nice, smooth, flat highway in ideal temperatures, you've not got the heating or the AC on, the car does really well. In the winter, because this car has a resistive heater rather than a heat pump, it will sap some of the range. And to give you an idea of that, I went up Mount Hood on Sunday with some friends. We had a full car of people plus stuff. We left from mine, picked up a couple of people on the way, went up Mount Hood, came back off Mount Hood, and I wasn't driving slowly. I was driving at the speed limit all the way, and it was really cold. And there was a headwind, and I still managed to get back without any issues in terms of range. Now, I managed probably that was about 155 miles. And I came back and I still had a little bit left. Now, that's me not really thinking about how I'm driving. Instead, that's me just driving the car. And I think one of the nice things about the Bolt, like any long distance EV, is that you don't have to worry about range unless you're doing a really long distance trip. Right now, I charged to 90% last night, the hill reserve mode, which the Bolt EV has. I've driven into town this morning. According to my car, in ideal situations, I'd have 153 miles of range. In worst case scenario, it would be 106. And based on how I've been driving this morning, it's about 130. Now, if I turn off the AC, then it goes up to 165 and 140 as how far I could go. So it really is affected a little bit, the range by temperature, etc., etc. But that's true of any car that doesn't have a heat pump and has a resistive heater. How has the car been? Have there been any problems? No issues at all with the car. We had a new wheel that was replaced because I hit some concrete on the freeway at one point. And it took out a wheel, it took out a tyre. So we've now got the Hakkapeliitta R6 studded tyres on the front of the car, but they are the non-studded variant. So Hakkapeliitta make R6 tyres that can be studded. So they've got the holes for the studs. They sell them with studs and without studs, and we've got the ones without studs because that's what the tyre shop had when we switch the tyres out. And we've still got the R2s on the back of the car. I think next winter we will probably get a different set of winter tyres for the back because those tyres are starting to get a bit low. Obviously in about a month and a half, depending on the weather, we will switch out to our summer tyres, and then hopefully our range will improve a little bit, etc., etc. Now, at 25,009 miles, which is where I'm sitting right now, we have a bit of a problem. The car should only have 23,420 miles on it right now. So I am over my mileage limit by a considerable amount. Luckily, though, when we leased this car, we were offered essentially an insurance plan that will cover us to go up to 1,600 miles over our lease and not have to pay anything. Beyond that, it's 50 cents per mile, which is crazy, crazy high. So what I think we're going to do at this point is the house we're buying is 25 miles from this studio right here. And so it's going to be a 50-mile round trip every day. Definitely too far for me to ride because of the hills. And I will be living in the foothills of the coastal range, and I have to climb over sort of two very high peaks to get into Portland. So what we'll probably do is I'll probably buy this car at the end of the lease period, which is next August is when the lease is up. At that point, I'll probably take out a finance loan of some description and buy the car, and we will keep this car as my car because I'm satisfied with it. It's the LT. It's got the cold weather package, the comfort package. It's got sort of the heated seats, the leather wrapped steering wheel, but it's got cloth seats. It's got no extra bells and whistles. It hasn't got the automatic headlights or the automatic high beams. Sorry, it's got automatic headlights. It hasn't got automatic high beams. It hasn't got automatic wipers. It hasn't got the weird rear view camera that shows in the rear view mirror. And so it's a pretty simple car. Now, a couple of months ago, somebody hit the back of the car in a parking lot when I wasn't there. And so there is a little bit of one of the lights has been pushed in a little bit. And there's a scratch on the bumper that I want to try and cut out. I think I can probably buff it out once the weather's better and I can spend some time outside. I'll probably be able to buff it out and it will be fine. And then I'll try and get underneath and have a look. We're also going to replace the hitch that we have on the car. We currently have the hitch that was supplied by Chevrolet. We want to upgrade that to a Kurt Eco hitch. So that's going to be something I'm going to try and do this year. Other than that, though, the Bolt EV it's been really well behaved. I love the regenerative braking on demand pedal. There's a paddle right here, but right here behind the steering wheel on the back. I love it. It works really well. I drive in L all the time, and I tend to hold onto that regen paddle when I'm driving. So as soon as I lift off the throttle, the car brakes. It's simple as that. It works really, really well. And I really love how this car has behaved. People ask me, would I buy a Tesla Model 3? And I keep telling them, no, I wouldn't, because it doesn't suit my lifestyle. I've got dogs, so I've got dog cover in the back. I have to carry large boxes everywhere. And because of the form factor of the Bolt, it works better for me. Additionally, this car is nice and short. I like the higher ride position. It gives me a little bit more view of the road ahead. I like the ride and I love the power delivery of this car. I used to own a hot rod. Most of you won't know this, but I used to own a hot rod with a 1.8 litre VVT K-Series engine in it that developed, heading on to the 200 brake horsepower that this car does. And it was a rear-wheel drive. It was a Morris Minor. It was very uncouth. It just delivered power when you wanted it. And you had to really understand how the car worked to deliver power. And I think the same is true of the Bolt. In the wrong hands, this car wheel spins as soon as it has a chance. If it's icy, snowy, it wheel spins. Oh, it's a beautiful Model 3 coming down there. Beautiful white Model 3. Beautiful. It wheel spins, given any chance. You can break away even in dry conditions if you really try hard. And for a lot of people, that would not be the refinement that they were looking for. The Model 3 has a much more refined power delivery, and I've talked about that on videos before. But I like the fact that you can just, give it some beans and it takes off. And I've never felt that this car has been underpowered, which is something that we have felt in the past with both our Nissan Leaf and also the 40 kilowatt hour 2018 Nissan Leaf when I've had one of those on review. But that's the situation as we are at the moment. Obviously, this is my personal car. I'm not getting paid by anybody to do this. This is my personal car that I've spent my own personal money in. And so hopefully you will take this as kind of just a kind of an informal update on what's going on. My wife's Leaf will probably get replaced by a Chevy Spark, which is just going past right now, because her Leaf won't be able to make the trip to and from her office, which is a couple of blocks away. And because of we work different times, she drives in as well. And so she'll probably end up getting a Chevy Spark EV used, because we can't afford a new Bolt for her. And any of the other options that are available are also too expensive. So we're going to look at a used a used Spark EV for her, and possibly my daughter will get the Leaf, and she can use that to get to and from school when she passes her driving test this summer. Fingers crossed. So that's the update. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I've got another frog in my throat like I had yesterday when I did this video. I hope to be back on my bike tomorrow to give you another update. But until then, thanks for joining me. Keep evolving.